आज के एपिसोड पे तो आपको गौर करना पड़ेगा because this is one person I have forced to be a part of my squad, but we're still at war at it. My guest today is Amit Kaur. Uncomfortable sitting at such close proximity. I know a lot of women watching this are extremely jealous. But Amit, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And Amit, we know that there's a lot that you did before you got your way into acting. Let's start where it all began. Let's fly into where you began your journey from. So Amit was a commercial pilot before Bollywood and modeling happened to him. Where did you begin? How did that happen?
So I was always fascinated by aircrafts and airplanes. I have a lot of pilot friends. तो फिर उनके साथ बैठना, उठना, बातें करना, it's all about aircrafts and stuff like that. And that kind of intrigued me just in college के what's the future like? कहाँ? Film तो obviously I've grown up watching films, so
Right.
it was there. But then flying kind of looked at more sorted कि वो हो सकता है. And then I worked on it, my education and stuff. And then I went off to America to study aviation to basically train to become a pilot. And I went off to Texas and I got my license in about 8 months.
Right.
And which is about 250 hours. So that was a great experience sitting in an aircraft, flying, learning, whatever the drills that you need to do. फिर वो करके then I became a first officer or a co-pilot,
Right.
the same term. And I went off to the Caribbean. I lived in the Caribbean off the coast of Belize, flying as a first officer for a local airline called Tropic Air.
And then why would anyone move back to India?
Exactly. Yeah, everybody asked me this. And but yeah, I knew I was going to come back.
Sure.
I was never going to live in America all my life.
Right.
वो आना तो वापस था ही. To get a job here, live with my family, and so that's it. And I came back.
But when you came back, was it an obvious choice to get into modeling because that's where you started off
Right.
in the field of fashion and entertainment? It's very obvious that you're a good-looking man.
I don't know that. I don't know that. yeah.
Well, I've made a khulasa for him today, which he was unaware of up until now. But of course, people, show directors, show choreographers, designers may have noticed you at that time because at that time, of course, fashion was a more close-knit community. There are thousands of models today.
Yeah.
There were a limited number of faces that you saw on the ramp and
Right.
in campaigns. So was it people telling you that, Amit, why don't you get into modeling? Or was it you trying to sort of venture into another field?
No, actually, it happened. The former part that you mentioned. I would be out socially because when I was back here, and there were no jobs.
Right.
I was sitting at home. It was almost 2 years, and it was just driving me up the wall. I mean, I came here to be a pilot, and I'm one of the 3,500 pilots sitting at home with no
Wow.
jobs. So I would be out and about socially, and I would bump into designers and choreographers, and they would kind of see me because you have the build, you have the look.
Right.
You carry yourself, the personality is all there. Why don't you walk for us? So initially I was hesitant because this is not is something that I wanted to do.
Sure.
I mean, I was pursuing another field altogether. But फिर 2 साल हो गए यार, it's like कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा, and this was coming सामने से.
Right.
So I said, why not? I mean, कितना मुश्किल हो सकता है to walk? I mean, I really didn't think much about it. I mean, and then I got going, and the
Okay.
first show happened, and then there was no stopping. I mean, then for just the next 4.5, 5 years, it was just bam and just walking, traveling overseas, walking in different countries, and doing shows for designers and stuff, and being awarded the Supermodel Male Award at award ceremonies and stuff, and it was a great feeling, and it was fun. Yeah.
Ironic that when people walk, they want to fly. You were flying and then you started walking.
True, yeah. Exactly.
But tell me something. There's a rush that you get when you're flying a plane. I know a lot of models who feel a certain amount of rush when they're walking on the runway. Did you feel the same sort of energy, and is that what kept you going for 5 years?
No, there was just something different.
Right.
I mean, flying is flying. I mean, I'm still very passionate about it.
Sure.
And I will still do that in my life. It'll become a hobby. I won't become a commercial pilot, but I'll get my private pilot license, lesser number of hours, and I'll still pursue that as a hobby. I would love to do that. I will not leave that. Walking is different. Yeah, I mean, you get that tension. I mean, it's like 500,000, 2,000 people sitting in the ballroom and applauding, and you get that whole the adulation and stuff.
Right.
It's fun. I mean, ठीक है, and I enjoyed it. I did well for myself.
Sure.
And yeah, it was fine. And there was a time that I had to kind of leave it, and because a male model has only so much
Sure.
of time in it. You know, the female models can do longer.
Much longer, yes.
But male का मतलब 4-5 साल हो गए, it's enough now. So then
especially back at that time. Now I think
Yeah.
the longevity in fashion is
yeah, because
increased
there are a
for
whole
models.
bunch of more people.
Yes.
Like you
yes.
said. I mean, that time it was just a handful of us. मेरे से पहले तो they were an even smaller group
lot,
of
yes.
people, which
Yes.
obviously they all got into films eventually. At least the big boys,
Right.
and some of the women got into films, and they're big, huge actors and stars today. But yeah, so it was just the transition had to come at some point.
So like you said that a male model's career at that time had a shelf life per
Yeah,
se.
I mean, you reach a point, right? And then there's what?
And you find you sort of evaluate what is your purpose, right? You want to genuinely graduate into
Yes,
something
into
more.
something more, yeah, definitive,
Correct.
right? Yeah.
And then you forced your way into Bollywood.
Yeah, I mean, it was films was coming. I mean, because there's definitely nothing happening on the flying front still,
Right.
and it was just really sad. And there was obviously films was also something that I was very passionate about, and then I said, okay, if this is there, then let's get into this,
Sure.
the next medium, which would be films.
Did that come easy to you? Because
No, not really, yeah.
Like for most people, it doesn't.
No, so I
As established as you are in fashion, if you want to transition into film, it's a completely different form of art. So you
Completely.
may have the fame, you may have the popularity that will make the process easier.
Right.
But I feel that it is learning something all over again and starting from scratch in a way.
yeah.
So now, when fashion happened to you, it was people approaching you. When films began, was it now you trying to go to casting directors and film directors and producers?
Yeah, it was the other way around. Yes, absolutely. And I'm from a non-filmy background. Zero connect
Right.
to anybody in the industry. So it was a struggle, obviously, to reach out to people and the right kind of people, casting directors. I just had zero knowledge. I mean, I just didn't know anybody. Yes, I met the filmy people in the so-called social get-togethers,
Right.
and they came watched fashion shows or stuff. I got introduced to them.
Right.
That's it. How do I reach them? You know,
Sure.
I don't have a secretary. I don't have an
Yeah.
agency. I don't have a manager. There was no way to how do I make that start? So it was gradually meeting people and then kind of reaching out to them, connecting with them. It was a slow process. It was a waiting process
Yes.
that I really had to. And but yeah, never gave up attitude and kept at it. And just got to know that Force was being made with Vipul Shah and Nishikant Kamath with John on board.
Right.
And I happened to meet Vipul Shah socially at a couple of get-togethers, and obviously then we got talking, exchanged numbers and stuff, and then I reached out to him saying that you're looking to make this and I would love to come and meet you, and that's when they moved forward, met Nishikant Kamath on it, and John was already there. I knew John from before, from fashion,
yes.
because I was entering fashion, he was leaving
was
fashion,
leaving, yes.
so I kind of knew him, so I knew it would be really fun to kind of work with him, and I really wanted to.
Yeah.
So फिर वही the audition happened, the process, Nishikant Kamath loved it, Vipul Shah loved it, and I was on board. Yeah.
Did you feel because you were a model getting into acting, there was a preconceived notion of the type of roles that you would fit in? You were physically fit, you were a good looking person. So did you feel that the directors were looking at you, or even till now, do they look at you in a particular way, or do you feel that the type of roles that you get are tailor-made for your physicality? Or do you think that now you've reached a stage where it's a combination of both, where they appreciate the art and marry it with how you look?
You know what you said is true, to pretty much to an extent, as in the sense, just looking at me, I love action. Action
Right.
is my forte, and I say it openly.
Right.
And I love to do action films. It comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
I guess people, when they see me, the personality, the height, the physicality, it kind of just says it to them if I walk into a room, okay, this guy can do action.
That doesn't happen to me.
I think you're going to do the romance part, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. So that happened. That still happens, and I'm absolutely fine with it because, like I said, this is something that I'm really good at.
Yeah.
Initially, it was when Force happened. Coming back to it was TK. I mean, I did my test and everything, and they liked, and I got the role and stuff.
Yeah.
Action was an integral part of it, of course. So that happened. The thing was, when I came into films, this preconceived notion was that models can't act, and I'm going to
Right.
say that. And it just all the time kept happening. Good-looking guy coming from fashion, can he act?
Right.
And I think it's proven. I mean, it's like a no-brainer today. I mean, you don't need to have that conversation anymore. But back in the day, it used to
Yes.
happen quite a bit, and I just understand why.
Right.
I mean, yes, there are failures, but there are there are stars as well. I mean, there are the
Correct.
successful actors who've gone from fashion and gone to films and done tremendously well.
That's
so thank God for that. That has
Yeah.
changed. Yeah, and but yes, I'm absolutely fine with doing action. But yes, I would love to try my hand at drama, or like an emotional film, like a family film, funny film, stuff like that, which kind of just gives you a little bit of change compared to that. But I don't think I could ever leave action. Sorry, because that would be my plus point always.
Right, and now I think because of the OTT platform coming in, I think not only will the opportunities to diversify yourself as an actor increase, but also the opportunities that come to you also, right?
Yeah.
Because when it was only the theatre, established actors would only want to do films that are cinema releases.
Right.
And I think the last couple of years have changed that notion, where stars are also looking at good content that is purely released only on OTT.
Yeah, but that's what COVID did, right?
Yes.
That's what it did. I mean, it was already there overseas.
Yeah.
It just took time to come to India.
Exactly.
And COVID just kind of gave
Forced.
it a big, huge
Yeah.
boom to it. And everybody realized that this is the way ahead as well. It's not only theatrical.
Yes.
Platforms are a great source of entertainment and projects and films or whatever you might call it, web series or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work being given out there, and a lot more work generated for all the actors or the guys who want to become actors and stuff, and it's great. And you have more what do I say, variety, like we say.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking for that. Got a handful coming my way, so I'm kicked about it, and so let's see.
So, what I believe is that we had a lot of stars because the quantity of movies coming out a year was limited,
Right.
and shuffled between 7 to 10 actors, and who became demigods for the audience, right? Today, the amount of content is so much more that you have more actors than stars,
Right.
and people who actually deserve their craft to be seen, have a platform to sort of show it. And now this gradual progression from theatrical releases to OTT has now landed Tanav
Right.
to you, which for everyone's watching is an extremely famous Israeli series called Fauda, which is being made in Hindi. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I know so my sister lives in America, and it was one of her favorite series.
Right.
So I know that Fauda had a huge global audience.
Yes.
And I think the expectations of an Indian version of it will be high. Do you feel the pressure?
No, not at all. I mean, it's a fantastic show, like I said, and everybody I know I've spoken to who've seen Fauda, or have at least heard about it.
Right.
It's just completely like gaga over it.
Yes.
So yes, I'm absolutely kicked about it. Applause is making it. It's coming on Sony Live.
Right.
Sudhir Mishra is my director.
Amazing.
We've co-directed by Sachin Mamta Krishna, who's also my cinematographer.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a huge cast. Talented people, really. I mean, I knew just one or two people when I signed on, because I've known them from before, but I just had no clue about the other guys. But extremely talented people. It's a huge cast, saying it again, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, it's going to be a cracker of a show, no doubt about it. I'm not praising it because it's my show, but I know it's a cracker of a show, and I can't wait for everybody else to see it once it's out soon enough. Yeah.
When you do a show that is already made in another language, it's very hard to make that character your own. Was there a lot of study and research that you did for comparisons and parallels not to be drawn, and for people to remember that character in freshness, which is purely you?
No, not really actually, because Sudhir Mishra has brought something. I mean, obviously it's Indianized.
Yeah.
It's not going to be hardcore Israeli, because they have their own way of kind of telling a story. Sudhir Mishra has brought very realistic point of view of the topic and whatever the circumstances are. I'm not going to divulge into that right now. So I didn't really have to do much. I just had to follow what he had to kind of give his directions to me, and I didn't really want to compare myself to the character that I'm playing, I'm representing from Fauda. Just bring something new to the table of what my character believes in, and what he's all about, and how he's in the show.
Right.
So a certain amount of freshness always adds to it, doesn't it? Yeah, that's it.
And freshness is something very key to you. This is a fresh new look with a salt and pepper look.
Right.
Is this for something that you're shooting or you've shot?
No, I'm actually going to shoot something. Like I'm shooting some campaign. So they want some the look. They've seen some pictures of mine. I've had the salt and pepper look initially in a film called War that I did. I had the salt and pepper look, and I had just done a meeting with the casting director there, and they loved it. And then they said, "This is the look." And Mr. Chopra said, "You've got to get Amit on board, and he's got to give this look with him." So I know it works for me, and I'm absolutely comfortable with it. So I think it looks good, and the guys who I'm shooting pictures with for the campaign, they kind of asked me if I can keep it, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
For everyone who thinks models can't act, this is one benefit that models have, that they're so comfortable changing their looks from a mustache to clean shaven to a beard to a salt and pepper stubble. I think you've literally consistently changed your look with
pretty
each
much.
role that you've done.
Yeah, I've done that, and it's nice because, I mean, it's. Yeah, but it's only so much. I mean, I can play around
a guy
with it.
can do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unless I, just, I don't know, put extensions in my hair or something. I don't know about that.
Maybe a role will call for that
maybe,
as well.
Maybe, but yeah.
Amit, fitness is a very important part of your regime, and consistently so from your modeling days, from your flying days to now. How important do you think it is for you as a lifestyle? And I think the last 2 years have taught all of us to incorporate this in our lifestyle as well. So
it is. It's not just a fitness regime, it's my lifestyle, like you just said it. People ask me all the time that you train, how much time do you spend in the gym, and how long you've been training, picking up weights. I've been doing it for years. I mean, I'm not even going to get into the number of years. But I've always enforced it. I've played sports right through my school days. I played volleyball since school days. I'm an ex-national level volleyball player. I've played professional beach volleyball 2-on-2 when I lived in America.
Oh wow.
And I still play volleyball. I still play local tournaments in Bombay.
All the girls want to know where they'll come stalking outside with Viral Bhayani.
Yeah. So I still play with my group of boys, and we have our own team. So twice a week I play that. Weight training, of course, then I hit the gym 5 days a week. I've got into kickboxing since last year, so I do that twice a week. It's just basically looking after yourself.
Sure.
I always believe your body is a temple.
Yeah.
You got to look after it, because if you're going to keep abusing it all the time, at some point it's going to show, and it's going to show very dangerously.
Right.
And you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, just make it a part of your lifestyle. I mean, I'm not saying to be in the gym 5 days a week and killing 2.5 hours in the gym. Play a sport. It's always important. Sport always helps. Young kids come to the gym at 14, 15, picking up weights. I'm like, what are you doing here? You should be out playing a sport. And then COVID also did definitely help that. People realized you need to look after yourself, because, I mean, tragically we had a lot of deaths because of it, and underlying illnesses, everything came to the surface where people realized that they were suffering from something or the other. And it was health related, so why not look after yourself? And I'm sure people have made that turn around and are more careful and are more observant about their health and what they eat and the sleep mode and work out, something or the other. It's in 24 hours you can definitely remove 1 hour to yourself. I don't think it's asking for too much. So if people tell me कि 24 घंटे में मुझे 1 घंटा भी नहीं मिला to train or go for a walk or go for a jog, that's complete bullshit.
That's true. What do we expect next from you?
So Tanav comes in.
Yes.
At some point this year. End of the year, I have another show with Maddox Films for Amazon. It's another web series that I've done. And I'm fingers crossed. Now let's see. I always talk about projects which I've kind of done shooting, or I'm starting to shoot, like I'm getting on the set. Once I'm on the set, then I'll talk about it. I don't say anything otherwise. It's just, nazar lag jati hai.
That's true. So on that note, thank you so much, Amit, for taking time out and speaking to us at TOAP Talks. There's so much more to look forward to on OTT at theatres with Amit, who doesn't want to see this face all the time on their screens, and we look forward to so much more. Thank you. So I'm going to ask you some super quick questions.
Rapid fire?
Rapid? No. Not rapid fire. I'm not so typical. Just you can take your time to answer it, but just be genuine.
Okay.
Favorite food?
Typical Punjabi food. I'm a Punjabi person. So Rajma Chawal obviously is there with raita.
Favorite food with?
With, obviously, interesting person.
Favorite holiday destination?
New York, for sure. And then any island. I'm just left my son.
That's a very
fun.
inappropriate sign for.
No, okay, not that. Okay. I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it that way. But yeah, any beach place. I like sun, water, and stuff like yeah.
So, beach or cities?
Beach.
Beach or mountains?
Beach. Yeah.
Juices or smoothies?
Smoothies, yeah.
Yeah?
It's nice. Yeah, I mean, like, तो taste आना चाहिए ना.
Are you all of these new things of gluten intolerance?
Bakwas. Bakwas. No, I don't follow. Yeah, vegan, gluten, shooting, I don't follow anything with that.
Stubble or beard?
Actually, I'm good with both. मुझे पता नहीं है. You
I
tell me
meant
ना.
on a woman.
On a woman? None. Okay.
What's on your bucket list?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things, yeah. I would really want to do skydiving, bungee, I don't know, I would travel a whole bunch of places. बहुत सारी चीज़ें करने के लिए है. I just have to kind of slow and आराम से करते रहूँगा फिर उसको. Yeah.
Got it.